What's good, everybody? It's Kaige-O Gaming, and we are back with some more Mass Effect 3. Now, last time we left off, we just finished off with Tuchanka and did those quests. Cured the genophage. See how that works out. But we need to find someone on the Citadel who can use schematics for Cerberus automated turrets. I don't know who that would be, but it looks like we're going back to the Citadel. Now, I think now is a good time to check in with the squad. Rex is no longer here, and neither is our guy. Okay, from the Turian fleet, or the Turian Primarch. But yeah, let's see how everybody's doing, because we continued the main quest.
I wish I could have been there. I'm just glad the diplomats are off the ship. A Krogan and a Turian in the same room is a fight waiting to happen.
Okay.
Commander, Admiral Hackett has requested your help with a Cerberus fighter base on Novaria.
Okay, seems like that's what we're doing.
The Turians have given us top-level access to their combat data. Their ships are already moving in to help the Alliance fleet. You actually secured a Krogan-Turian alliance. It's one thing to hear about Commander Shepard. It's another to see him in action. Commander?
Okay. We also have the minimal war score to fight the Reapers. Obviously, we want to get that as high as possible. Oh, Garrus is up front.
My turn. What's the first order an Alliance commander gives at the start of combat?
I give up.
Correct.
All right, big guy. What do you call it when a Turian gets killed by a horrible spiky monster?
Friendly fire. Come on, that one goes back to Shang-Chi.
You gotta respect the classics.
How many humans does it take to activate a dormant mass relay?
602. 600 to vote on it, 1 to ask the Asari for technical help, and 1 to request a seat on the council afterward. How do you know when a Turian's out of ammo?
He switches to the stick up his ass as a backup weapon. Why does the Alliance hire pilots with brittle bone disease?
You're shitting me. The Turian military has one about me?
Oh, absolutely. I heard it myself from a private back on Palaven.
All right, why does the Alliance hire pilots with brittle bone disease?
So their Marines can beat someone in hand-to-hand drills.
Damn, you need to tell James that one. Hey, what's the hardest part about treating a Turian who took a rocket to one side of his face?
Figuring out which side took the rocket.
That's cool.
Never thought I'd see the Krogan and the Turians team up. Even the Reapers have to be a little nervous about pissing them off.
I'd say more than a little.
I'm sorry about, not Morden.
His name was Paddock.
Yeah, I guess it was. So now that we got the Krogan and the Turians, what now?
The Krogan help us turn the tide on Palaven. They can shoot at something useful for a change.
Dig till we hit daylight, huh? Works for me.
So how does it feel knowing Krogan will be singing songs about you until the end of time? I'd think it would be an honor.
There's enough misery in this universe. It's nice to see something go right for a change.
Can't say I've ever really witnessed history in the making like this. Well, except for Sovereign attacking the Citadel, and then there was the Collector base, but this one felt good. And let's hope Rex keeps running the show on Tuchanka. Maybe we should hire a food taster for him. Imagine the carnage if someone like that brother of his Reeve took over.
It could happen.
I know, it's a chance we have to take, but I have to say, if it wasn't my own world that needed the help, I might have taken that Solarian deal.
I could never bring myself to do that, no matter what I was offered.
I admire your restraint, Shepard. It's nice when we can save the galaxy without destroying another race along the way.
Let's hope our luck holds.
Apparently the Batarians are done. Oh, Edie's gone.
I wonder where all the Krogan will live now. I've never seen what you'd call a house on Tuchanka.
Yeah, that's fair.
I wonder where all the Krogan will live now. I've never seen what you'd call a
Commander,
Okay. Yeah, where's Edie?
Commander, Chief Engineer Adams would like to speak with you down in engineering.
You got it, lady. Thanks for letting me know. Let's check out these new armor pieces that we got. Could be worth it. Ooh. Ah, it's melee damage though. That's a cool helmet. Power damage or weapon damage? Or shield regen? Power damage is nasty. Melee damage. Weapon damage, headshot. Weapon headshot. Power recharge or health boost. Weapon damage, ammo capacity. Yeah, we just go full power damage and power recharge. I like it. Oh, look. Our fishies are dead. Typical. We can't ever have fish in this game. We need that automatic feeder, but I refuse to pay money on that. I refuse to spend the money. Seems ridiculous. Alright, I gotta remember where everybody's at. I don't think anybody's on this floor. Chakwas is back in her lab. We can't go into the women's restroom this time. That's kind of funny. Chakwas, how we doing?
Hello, Commander.
Hello.
Hello, Commander.
Okay. Edie, did you need a break from Joker?
What are you up to now?
I am uploading data on the destroyed Reaper to the Turians. They are investigating possible Reaper structural weakness. Our data says Reaper capital ships such as Sovereign are of unique design. However, smaller Reaper destroyers bear similarities.
That one was small.
Relatively, yes. Ground attack ships are only 160 meters in height. Sovereign was approximately 2 kilometers.
Well, keep talking to the Tyrians. If there's a chink in the Reaper's armor, we all need to know it.
Hello, Shepard.
Cool. I feel like we're running in slow motion. Alright, Garrus is not in there.
Any sign of life?
The Reaper destroyed by the Thresher Maw appears to be completely inert, Doctor. We would need to send in teams to be sure.
Out of the question. Tell the Krogan to stay away.
Okay. Intel from Battle of Arcturus. Telemetry captured from Arcturus Station shows just how quickly Reapers poured in from the relay and tore through Alliance fleets. VIs can analyze hostile fire and the data collected to increase weapon damage. They can also spend processing power looking for ways to improve shielding against Reaper weapons. Shield strength or weapon bonus? Let's go shields. We need some more survivability. Okay, now we got shields plus 10%, weapon damage plus 5, and power recharge speed. Mass relay traffic reports. Increase, decrease in recent relay traffic. Kayron unavailable. Shang-Chi unavailable. Pelion decrease, Tasali, Omega, and Widow all increase. Email from Dr. Loke to Admiral Hackett. Security almost opened fire on the Rachni when their ships pulled up to the Crucible, Admiral. I had to invoke your name more than once before they were led on board. They're following instructions, but my god, do I have to tell you how nervous everyone on the project is to see Rachni strutting down the halls? They almost gave Professor Lau a fit. I'll let you know how our next staff meeting goes. Dr. Loke. Grunt addresses new Aralac company recruits. Recruit, still don't understand why they put a tank-grown freak in charge of a whole company. Laughter, I don't understand why they gave me whining pyjacks for soldiers. I have more years on the battlefield than you have kills, Runt. Trying to mate with Solarian females doesn't count as fighting. No one talks to... Someone help him up. We move in an hour. Okay.
Busy?
I have time if you'd like to talk. In fact, I could use the distraction.
What's on your mind?
How long it took the Reapers to eradicate the Protheans, and how long they'll need for us. It took them centuries to conquer the Protheans. We're not quite so widespread, but it would still take at least 100 years. It's selfish, but I keep thinking that if we fail... I'm only 109, Shepard. I could live to see the entire cycle come to an end.
Only 109, huh?
I know. It must seem strange to complain about a 1,000-year lifespan. I used to think it was sad that most aliens live such short lives. Maybe it's not such a privilege to outlive so many. To witness so much death.
Don't drive yourself crazy about this, Liara. We're still in the fight.
Only because you're still driving it forward. We finally have other leaders on our side, but none will take us as far as you can. Sometimes I wonder how you do it.
I think of the people I care about. That helps keep me going.
I'm glad I'm among them. I hope.
Of course you are.
I feel better already. Thank you for coming by, Shepard. Why don't we talk later?
Okay. Cool.
Working on anything?
I'm helping decode some of the Crucible's designs, or trying to. Theoretical particle physics based on specialized base 12 mathematics aren't exactly my specialty. And Javik is his usual forthcoming self. I'd trade my last 100 years to resurrect even one Prothean scientist to help us.
So having that dialogue with her unlocked a new ability.
The genophage cured. The Krogan have no reason to hold back now, do they? Rex knows what he's doing, but can he keep the Krogan in check? Or will this be the start of another Krogan empire? Eve's organizing the female Krogan. She reminds me of some of the more formidable matriarchs I've known. The Krogan won't let themselves fall by the wayside again. Not like they did after the rebellions. We'll have to get used to them having a bigger part in the galaxy. I hope the Krogan live up to their ancient legacy, and for the better. Thanks for coming by.
You have a lot to say about the Krogan. Shadow Broker. Crew deck and to engineering. We gotta talk to our guy. We also gotta talk to Javik. How you doing, bud? Oh.
Commander,
You settling in, Javik?
I believe some of the crew wishes to be my friend. That is not my purpose here. Also, I find I need to wash my hands. The residue of the ship is strong.
How so?
I have been exploring. There are traces of those who lived on the Normandy before. I detected a human female. Her genetic structure was unnatural, as if artificially
Miranda?
created.
Sounds like Miranda.
And a Drell. There was illness in him.
Thane.
And a Krogan who lived in these quarters. He was undergoing a metamorphosis. His memories were confused, not organic to his mind. There was great confusion and turmoil.
I still can't wrap my head around that. Reading information like you do.
For my people, it was as natural as breathing.
Evolution's an amazing force.
Our scientists believed it was the only force in the galaxy that mattered. They called it the cosmic imperative. The strong flourished, the weak perished. The governments of your cycle seem concerned with ensuring the survival of all.
Was this imperative just your scientist's opinion? Or did they prove something we don't know?
The universe had already proven it. They only had to look around.
And saw what exactly?
Extinction is the rule of law in the cosmos, the natural order of things. The weakest species are doomed.
It's the duty of the strong to protect the weak. Otherwise, we'd have anarchy.
but those who had nothing to offer would be eliminated.
So conflict should be a way of life?
Evolution demands it. The strong grow stronger by dominating the weak. It is for the greater good of all. Though I do not think your Asari approves of my beliefs.
Liara? I think she just had a different idea about what Protheans were like.
We are all a product of our time. Had I been born in this cycle, perhaps I would be the noble scholar she wishes me to be.
You think you'd like that? It's a whole different line of work.
I wouldn't know. Living a life of constant war. Taking life in every battle.
I see how it could be tough to see outside the box.
It is the only box I have known. It shapes me, as stone is shaped by the one who carves it. The stone has no choice in the form it will take. You and I, Commander. War is our sculptor, and we are prisoners to its design.
Maybe not much longer. We win this, and we'll both be set free.
Cool.
You have killed a Reaper. I would like to have seen it. No matter. There will be more.
Plenty more.
Yes, a difficult fight remains. I have heard about the offer the Solarians made. I would have accepted it, and not told the Krogan. Morality and friendship do not matter now. Your allies are simply resources to use against the Reapers. If the Krogan seek retribution for the past, do not waste time on sterility plagues. Destroy them where they stand. In the meantime, they are useful cannon fodder against the Reapers. Do not care what others think. Do what you must. Do not care what others think.
Jeez,
Do
dude.
what you must.
This guy's like a fanatic.
Edie doesn't pilot the Normandy, she is the Normandy.
No, she's a passenger in the Normandy, just like us. The ship was a spacefaring vessel before Edie even existed.
Engineer Donnelly is correct. The Normandy SR-2 was completely spaceworthy prior to my installation.
See, Edie agrees with me.
Edie's mind and the Normandy are a whole entity now. You couldn't just move the processors in the AI core to another ship.
Engineer Adams is correct. Processes that contribute to my self-awareness are spread throughout the ship.
See? Edie agrees with me.
But unlike Edie, our brains couldn't have existed without our bodies.
That is a requisite from being organic. You have to look beyond that limited definition of life.
Joker pilots the Normandy. He doesn't take over Edie's body when he does that. When Edie controls the ship, she's piloting, just like Joker.
Edie doesn't pilot the Normandy, she is the Normandy.
No, she's a passenger in the Normandy, just like us. The ship was a spacefaring vessel before Edie even existed.
The Normandy is a ship. Edie is a collection of processing hardware contained in that ship. Those are two separate things.
Doesn't the existence of the Reapers contradict that?
So what do you think, Edie?
Are we more than our thoughts?
I'm done. Any more of this and my head's gonna explode.
Oh.
Adams would like to speak to you.
You should go see Adams, Commander.
What's up, dude?
Commander, remember the problem I mentioned? About a core overload possibly venting into the engineering compartment? Daniels, Donnelly, Edie, and I have been brainstorming and comparing notes.
You see, the venting occurs when IES sinks are in a back cycle. At the same moment, the main core is at peak draw, such as from sustained kinetic.
What Kenneth means to say is that we're pretty sure we can make the system safer.
We just need a GX-12 thermal pipe. Unfortunately, we're cut off from Alliance supply chains. Could you keep an eye out for one the next time you're on the Citadel, Commander? I've got the specs right here.
Are these modifications really necessary?
It's a safety issue, not exactly critical. Under extreme conditions, like heavy bombardment to the kinetic barriers while traveling at peak flight speeds, plasma can vent into this compartment.
It would vaporize anyone standing in this room.
That sounds more serious than just a safety issue.
Well, under those conditions, odds are you're about to lose the entire ship anyway.
But we want every advantage we can get, right?
Yeah.
I'll look for one next time we go to the Citadel.
Thanks, Commander.
Cool.
Commander.
Sometimes keeping the grid balanced is pure murder. Nothing to report.
Shepard.
Okay. There shouldn't be anybody else on this floor. So let's go talk to Cortez and James.
Hey, Esteban, for your shuttle being so stealthy and all, you sure do get shot at a lot.
Well, the UT-47A stealth systems only internalize heat and high-band emissions. So while few sensors can pick us up, our cover is blown as soon as someone looks up.
Time for an upgrade.
Most scanners and tracking systems don't operate in mid-range frequencies. Sure, maybe we've been shot at, but we haven't been shot down.
Yet. Lucky for us, you're almost as good a pilot as you think you are.
Well, yeah. There's that, too.
Okay. Procurement. Health shields and health regen. The harpoon gun. Terminus, melee damage. No. Once I see that melee damage, it's over with. Magazine upgrade. Shields, power damage, and recharge speed is pretty nice. It's less recharge speed than what we have, but more... Whoa. That armor looks dope, but it's melee damage. Metagel capacity? Yeah, we'll do it. I know things are more expensive here, but... Not worried about the ships right now. The Venom shotgun's pretty cool. Ultralight materials, this is what I want. Boom. Weapon damage and headshot damage. Regen. Assault rifle ultralight materials. We'll take it. The Blood Pack Punisher, that's super cool. Okay. Ultralight pistol materials. Take this as well. And then weapon upgrades. We're using the Tempest now. And then we're also using Phase 10. Okay. So, weapon bench. Let's do ultralight materials. Power recharge speed is 172. Awesome. Alright, let's finish up by talking to people, and then we'll go do that quest for Hackett.
That last drop on Tachanka was intense. I tried providing air support, but the sky was so full of Cerberus, it was like someone kicked a hornet's nest. Wish you could have seen that gun on Tachanka firsthand. I cut the auditory emulators and watched that Cerberus cruiser gracefully and silently disintegrate. Beautiful.
Sometimes I worry about you, man.
Sir.
Nice. James, I brought you along to Tuchanka. How'd you feel about it, brother?
Parts of Tachanka reminded me of the desert back home. The lizards and worms are bigger, but, you know, the sand and everything.
Where's he from?
You think that cure they dispersed could do anything to us? We're not going to start growing scales or anything, right?
I hope not.
Maybe now that we have the Krogan on board, we can go back to fighting the Reapers. I was looking at the specs on that Reaper you took out on Tachanka. That was one of the small ones? Don't get me wrong, it's still dead, but damn. There was nothing small about it.
For real.
Too bad about Tarquin. I was starting to like him.
He was a good dude.
Do you hear that hum? Is that just me? Do you hear that hum? Is that just me?
Dude, don't tweak me out like that, brother. Okay, we've talked to everybody. Let's go to...
Unread messages at your private terminal, Commander.
Let's read our messages. Your regrettable decision from Dalatras to Linron. Commander, I'm deeply disappointed by your actions on Tuchanka, as I thought I made clear curing the genophage will have long-term consequences. Once the Reaper threat is past, our combined forces will be so depleted that no race in the galaxy will be capable of stopping a resurgent Krogan. Moreover, the Krogan will undoubtedly seek revenge for the genophage, and the Solarian Union will be among their first targets. When that day comes, Commander, the blood of my people will be on your hands. I am ashamed to also learn that our own scientist sacrificed his life carrying out your orders. This is a dark day, not only for my people, but all of galactic civilization. Not wreck, Shepard. Making babies again will be fun. Soon as this war is over, let's just say I'll do my part to build our numbers back up. You really came through for us. I'm proud to call you my friend. Eve is in the Kelphic Valley, enlisting support from the other clans and spreading the word. She's going to be a great leader. Most of the males won't like me sharing power with her, but too bad, I run the show. We're off to save the Turians now, since apparently they forgot how to hold a gun. General Corinthus, Commander Shepard, when you first arrived on Mene, I had a hard time seeing how you flying off with one of our best generals would benefit our fight against the Reapers. However, as I now watch Turian and Krogan fighters work together to take down a Reaper destroyer, I must admit I am impressed. You brokered an alliance that many thought impossible. Palaven might be saved after all. With great respect, General Corinthus. Shiala, dear Commander Shepard, I don't know if you've seen the articles, but the people of Zoo's Hope are fighting again. This time it's the Reapers instead of the Geth. I'm not sure if you remember me, but you helped me back on Ilium. The Thorian is dead now. I can confirm that. But the spores in our bodies remain, and on some level, we are still connected. This is not necessarily a bad thing. As we fight back the Reapers, we feel each other and act with one mind, ignoring pain when the need arises. I'm sure I'm still indoctrinated. I remember Sovereign's voice in my mind when I went willingly to the Thorian as its thrall, but my connection to the people of Zoo's Hope is stronger. It drowns out the Reaper voices. This situation is imperfect and dangerous. Perhaps the colonists should separate for their own safety. But with one mind, the untrained fight with the skill of veteran commandos, our force is strong. I have not forgotten how you helped us, how you spared me. We are leaving Pharaoh soon, and when the time comes, we will fight with you. New article on Reaper. Pharos, a group of colonists on Pharos have mounted a defensive against arriving Reaper forces, holding them back long enough for civilians from nearby colonies to escape. The informal militia from Zoo's Hope, said to be survivors of a savage Geth attack several years ago, has repelled initial Reaper landing attempts with a level of wartime competence more common to seasoned platoons. The colonies are using improvised weapons as well as supplies salvaged from a defunct exogeny facility. This colony is our home, colony spokesperson Lisbeth Bainham said. We survived worse and we know how to fight together. The colony is expected to have time for full evacuation before more Reaper forces arrive. Nice. Okay. Let's do this mission for Hackett. And then we go to the Citadel. Is there anything here? Not looking like it. Meet Solarian Counselor. Cerberus Fighter Base. We got some new places now, huh? Definitely. Alright, let's go to the Cerberus Fighter Base. And see what the heck is going on. Novaria. Novaria is a small frozen terrestrial world barely habitable by conventional definitions. It is privately chartered by the Novaria Development Corporation, who lease out labs for research too dangerous or controversial to be performed elsewhere. The war has brought significant attention to this otherwise obscure planet. Novaria is home to some of the most advanced research in the galaxy, a sure magnet for Cerberus interest. Further, Novaria's mass relay is the stop between the humans' Exodus cluster and the beginning of Solarian space. It is a safe bet that the Solarians will defend their borders to the utmost. Okay, so we're back here. We haven't been here since the first game. Cerberus. I think we're gonna take Edie. Should we take Edie? Overload, Incinerate. I want to try out Javik again. Javik's got the pull The slam. I'm kind of liking Garrus, man. I wonder if we'll get more party members. Or if it's just the 5. We're happy with what we have. Vindicator. Let's go with the Argus. More accuracy. More damage. I'm down for that. You're good. You have a lot of points. Dark Channel. Slow targets movement speed or increases recharge speed. Let's go recharge speed. Damage to armor and barriers or damage. Damage to armors and barriers. Increases damage and force or increases force of biotic detonation. Let's do damage and force. Incapacitate or recharge speed. I like the incapacitate. Increases duration or impact radius. Let's do duration. Alright, we're good to go. Let's do this thing.
Commander, the enemy has a strategic advantage in this sector thanks to the fighter squadron facility you're about to attack. We want to seize it, but their air defenses are too strong for a frontal assault. Losses would be too cost prohibitive.
How do you want me to handle this?
Go in the back, bring down their defenses so we can send in the troops. Good luck, Commander.
I have visual contact. There's a small platform above the main landing pad. I can drop you there, but it's got to be now.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Novaria. It's been a while.
Commander, you'll have to find the command center to take down their defenses.
Keep an eye out for the command center.
Whoa.
The enemy Son.
We really launched that thing, don't we? Nice little combo. Nice. Just make sure we're checking all the corners for all the loot. Need all the credits, weapon upgrades. Weekly processing report, Sergeant Parker. All on base personnel have been processed. Integration protocols updated successfully. Pistol magazine. Metagel, 300 XP now.
Objective acquired.
I hope that wasn't the last of them.
Let's find that control center.
Huh? Control center's in there. But we got the med kit. Med station. 2,000 credits.
Damn it. This'll take a while.
Commander, you've got enemies inbound and we can't wait. Someone's got to get those defenses down ASAP.
Sign Garrus, he's tech savvy.
Garrus, make it quick.
On it.
Be ready, Commander. You're gonna get swarmed.
My boy.
Commander, I've been flushed from cover. Retreating to minimum safe distance.
No problem, Cortez. Get out of there.
We'll wait for your all clear, then relay to the strike force.
Security breach. Initiating lockdown failsafe.
Couldn't be avoided. Outside. Let's bring down the defenses. We'll worry about that later.
Stay behind me.
Oh, that's nasty. Just use the nade. Can you melee? Nope, I'm just gonna die. Slam him. You missed. That was ridiculous. Alright, so we need to pull him.
No problem, Cortez. Get out of there.
We'll wait for your all clear, then relay to the strike force.
Yeah, pull those guys. Get their shields out of here.
Couldn't be avoided. Outside communications lock on. Let's bring down the defenses. We'll worry about that later.
Slam him. Got both our drones active on the right side. Okay, let's get a drone over here.
Authorize shutdown.
Let's do it.
Defense system deactivated. General Order 7/7 triggered. Establish contingency defenses.
I'm tracking large-scale deployment to the landing patch.
then that's where we need to go.
My goodness. Oh, we get the mini map when we that's cool. Okay, we got like 5 more.
Cortez, I read you. Come in.
There you are, Commander. Had to get through the interference. Area clear. Signaling the strike force. Wait. Scan's picking up something coming your way.
Proximity alert. Deploying armed response.
An Atlas. Terrific. Give it everything you've got.
Wow. Who saw that coming? Certainly not me. Does the Dark Channel work on that? Seems like it. Nice. The Atlases aren't too bad anymore.
Anyone wounded?
Just the usual minor flesh wound.
Copy that, Lieutenant.
Coming in to pick you up.
Nice. That wasn't too bad. And now we go to the Citadel.
This was a major victory, Commander. A crippling blow to Cerberus operations in this sector. Now all we have to do is maintain control of the facility.
Cerberus won't make that easy.
And we won't make it easy on them. Thanks to you, we can use their own defenses against them. Tell your team they did good, Commander. You should be proud.
Thank you, sir.
That's all. Hack it out.
Okay. New alliance. Zeus Hope colonist. The Asari Shiala was rescued by Commander Shepard from the Thorian on Zeus Hope. Now she leads a militia of Zeus Hope colonists waging a surprisingly effective campaign against encroaching Reapers. Shiala suspects the group's prior connection to the Thorian gives their soldiers an uncanny ability to sense one another, allowing them to think and act as one in battle. The long-term consequences of this connection are unknown, but for now at least, its effects are helping the cause. Ex-Cerberus. Advanced Fighter Squadron. A squadron of advanced fighter ships was liberated from Cerberus forces in Novaria. Fast, agile, and remarkably fuel-efficient, these one-person spacecrafts pack surprisingly heavy firepower for their size. After the Alliance installed their own VI programs and swept for hidden bugs or transmission signals, they repainted the fighters and pressed them into service. We're at 4K now. Awesome. Alright, let's go to the Citadel. See what's going on.
Told me that Cerberus started out as an Alliance Black Op.
Black Ops always go bad. If you have to deny the action, it was a crappy action.
Okay.
You've got new messages, Commander.
Again. Hope lives. Erdnot Bakara. Commander, I'm writing you from the Kelphic Valley on Tuchanka. I wish you were here to see this. I'm watching Krogan pour in from across our entire planet, so many of them that I've lost count. They've all heard the news. We are finally free. The age of suffering is over. Never again will Krogan be afraid to give birth. Never again will they fear the pain and heartache it might bring. While I don't know what fate ultimately has in store for my people, I can promise you your decision to believe in us will not be in vain. We will fight the Reapers for more than glory. We will fight them because we know there is a future for us after victory. The rest of my life will be devoted to traveling to Chanka and speaking aloud the words no Krogan has heard for nearly 2,000 years. There is reason to hope. This I owe to you, Commander. This I will never forget. Liar to Sony. I've been working on something I'd like to show you. Can we meet in your quarters when you have a moment? Okay. Well, before the Citadel, we go to Liara. What have you been working on, girl?
Have we found any new engineers for the Crucible glyph?
5 ex-Sonax Industries scientists who attempted to reverse engineer Prothean technology stolen from planet Garvuk. They are technically still wanted by the Council for hiding Prothean technology. As well, Sonax's part in instigating an illegal war on Garvuk.
I'm sure the Council will forgive that for helping with the Crucible. Extend those scientists amnesty and an invitation.
Right away.
I had something I wanted to show you, Shepard. Could we meet in your cabin when you have a moment? I want to show you something I've been working on.
Okay. Meet in my cabin. Invite Liara.
Liara, you had something you wanted to discuss in my cabin?
Yes, I'll be right up.
Come on in.
Thank you. Could we sit? I've been thinking about the knowledge we gathered on the Reapers, and how easily it could be lost again. So, I put a plan in motion to preserve things for the future.
What's this?
A record of the galaxy. Information on the Reapers, relays, different cultures, and blueprints of the Crucible. But there's one entry I wanted your opinion on.
Which one?
Your own. I'd be honored to have your input. How would you like history to remember you?
50,000 years is a long time for a computer to sit around.
Please, I was an archaeologist. I know what I'm doing. I'm encasing these records in time capsules and seeding copies on multiple planets. And while it's not foolproof, the VI I'm installing has every translation and linguistics program I could find.
So it's an information guide like Vigil on Ilos?
Yes, I've been preparing it for some time.
And it will be a privilege to guide the future discoverers of these records. Have you decided what you would like Dr. Tassoni to write in your entry, Commander?
You know me well enough to fill in the blanks, Liara.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'd like it to be your call.
I'll start by saying Commander Shepard was born on Earth, and fought harder than anyone else for his homeworld. The Commander was also a skilled engineer, the best the Alliance ever offered in battle, in fact. He was a soldier and a leader, one who made peace where he could. and it was a privilege to know him.
Careful, this doesn't sound like a diary.
I can't help myself. You're a good friend, Shepard.
You've been there for me too, Liara.
No, I haven't. I wish I could have joined you back on Ilium.
You made up for it.
Well, I suppose I did just write your name in the stars.
That was cool. Nice little sweet moment. How is our reputation? Almost maxed out. Cool. Alright. Now let's go to the Citadel. Should be caught up on everything. So we got some things to do on the Citadel. Who do we think can use the Cerberus stuff? I suppose I could look it up real quick.
Alliance Control, this is SSV Normandy. Are we clear to descend? Alliance Control, this is Normandy. We're headed to Bay 1-4 Zakara Ward. Are we clear to descend? What the hell's going on down there? Even if there were a station malfunction, they'd have backups online. I got a bad feeling here. Checking emergency channels. Hey, yeah, this is Joker. Uh-huh. Yeah, no kidding. Commander, there's a communication from Thane. He says it's important. I think you'll want to hear this.
Put him through.
Shepard, the Citadel is under attack. Cerberus troops are everywhere and they're in control of the docks.
Are you safe?
No, I had to evade their commandos at the hospital. I'm in a Presidium storefront.
Did Kaidan make it out?
We got separated. He said he had to protect the Council. I'm going to CSEC headquarters.
Why CSEC headquarters?
It's been compromised, and CSEC's response depends on it. As long as Cerberus is holding the headquarters, they have the station.
All right. Joker, get us away from the docks and close to CSEC HQ. We'll deploy in the shuttle.
Aye, aye, Commander.
What? Okay. We can't spend anything. Garrus can get an upgrade. Increases damage dealt to targets from all sources by 20. Yeah. Javik, nothing yet. Wow. I was not expecting this. Was that Commander Bailey?
Okay, people, coming in hot. Get to cover. On it.
What the hell is happening? He's dead. The thing goes far, dude. Nice. Commander Bailey.
Shepard, I saw those Cerberus troops on you. I thought you were done for.
Bailey, what are you doing here?
Getting my ass shot off trying to retake headquarters. Cerberus took it in the first push. We gotta kick them out of there. Everyone in C-Sec's flying blind without the network.
How bad's the situation? Do you know if the counselors are alive?
They split up. I'll know more if I can access the terminal inside.
Can you get us in?
I'll get the door. If no one interrupts me with a bullet this time.
It's Udina, isn't it? I bet it is. The scumbag. So what's this mean? Did we miss out on all the quests?
Here we go. CSAT network access, courtesy of Cerberus.
How's that gonna help?
Cerberus has control of the main channels, but I can set up a new one. Without it, our people have no plan and no chance. Hello.
What have you got?
A warning from Counselor Valern. He's supposed to be here meeting with the Executor. Be on guard. The likelihood of betrayal from within is high. Not a lot else. But if he's inside...
Why would the Counselor be meeting with the Executor?
Usually it means someone big's about to be prosecuted. I guess that someone had Cerberus friends.
Udina.
The Counselor mentioned Udina. But that's insane. Does he even have this kind of pull?
Well, you know who'd have the answer to that? The Counselor.
One Counselor's better than zero. Where am I headed?
He could be in the Executor's office. It's a fairly defensible position.
I'm on it.
Just a sec. There. Now we can talk by Omnitool. Go.
This is crazy. The Citadel's always getting messed up.
Did you hear all that?
Yes. I'm nearing the building, but running is difficult. I'll try to get to you.
Oh no. Not Thane. Oh, God. How do proximity mines work against these guys? I don't think I understand proximity mines. Oh, there it goes. I think. Stay alert for illegal AI. How'd that miss? Yeah, because that does extra damage against armor now. Oops. Damn.
troops in the lobby. They were dug in.
I can see more through the cameras. They're all over the station.
Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Well, before we go any further, if you're not interested in the Daily Codex, I hope to see you next time. If you are, let's go ahead and hop on into it. Technology.
Biotics is the ability. It may be possible to reverse the genophage by extracting an immunity from the genetic data of a cured Krogan female. A Solarian geneticist named Malin, a former student of Dr. Morden Solis, discovered the cure through unethical experimentation on live subjects. The complexity and durability of the genophage derives from biochemical countermeasures that the Solarians wove into the plague in an attempt to make the sterilization incurable. No one is certain of how Malin circumvented the countermeasures, but his work was complete enough to allow replication of his results. In its original form, the cure restored fertility but severely compromised the immune system. This resulted in slow, painful death for all but one of Malin's test subjects. If the beneficial aspects of the cure can be isolated, a specially tailored virus could repair the affected genes in other Krogan.
Okay.
The Reaper weapon, nicknamed Black Star, is so advanced that Alliance scientists can only offer speculation about how it works. The gun appears to exploit an Element Zero core and mass effect fields to fire gravitational singularities, micro black holes that revert to their natural lethality when they impact a solid object. Researchers theorize that the blast tears apart the strong nuclear forces that hold the target's atoms together, resulting in a localized fusion reaction in light atoms and a localized fission reaction in heavy atoms. If that hypothesis is correct, the weapon alters nuclei, thus changing the chemical composition of the target. This destroys organic tissue, corrodes surviving armor, and leaves a visible trail of light-emitting particles. Although some might argue that the Black Star's single-launch capability makes it a liability, its capacity for utter destruction is essential when the user requires large-scale, instantaneous damage.
Okay. The Reapers. Reaper vulnerabilities. Although clearly technologically superior to the Citadel forces, the Reapers have experienced casualties in the battles across the galaxy. This indicates that theoretically, with the right intelligence, weapons, and strategy, the Reapers could be defeated. Unlike the Mass Effect relays that they created, Reapers do not have quantum shields. Locking itself down at a quantum level would leave a Reaper unaware of its surroundings until the shielding deactivated. Instead, Reapers rely on kinetic barriers. In the case of a Reaper capital ship, these kinetic barriers can hold off the firepower of 2 dreadnoughts simultaneously, but 3 clearly causes strain, and 4 typically results in destruction. Weapons designed to maximize heat damage, such as the Thanic series, show better results against the Reapers than pure kinetic impacts. The barriers of a Reaper destroyer are less formidable than those of a capital ship. It is possible for a single cruiser or many fighters to disable or demolish a destroyer if they can get within range before they are themselves destroyed. The Reaper's energy sources are not infinite. For example, to land on a planet, a Reaper must substantially reduce its mass. This transfer of power to its Mass Effect generators leaves the Reaper's kinetic barriers at only partial strength. Sovereign was destroyed while assuming direct control over Saren. The feedback from Saren's death seemed to entirely overload Sovereign's shields. Current Reapers do not seem to suffer from this design flaw. Reaper's capital ships can turn faster than Citadel dreadnoughts, but to do so they must lower their mass to a level unacceptable in combat situations. Consequently, it is possible for a dreadnought to emerge from FTL travel behind a capital ship, then bring its guns to bear faster than the Reaper can return fire. This is a poor tactic, however, against Reapers flying in proper formation. Body armor. Modern combat hardsuits have a triple canopy of protection: shields, armor, and self-repair. The outermost layer is created through kinetic barrier emitters, which detect objects incoming at a high rate of speed and generate deflecting shields provided they have enough energy in their power cells. If a bullet or other incoming objects gets past the barrier, it contends with the more traditional body armor. A sealed suit of non-porous ballistic cloth provides kinetic and environmental protection, reinforced by lightweight composite ceramic plates in areas that either don't need to flex or require additional coverage, such as the chest and head. When the armor is hit by directed energy weapons, the plates boil away or ablate rather than burning the wearer. The last level of protection is provided by the suit's microframe computers, whose input detectors are woven throughout the fabric. These manage the self-healing system, which finds rents in the fabric and, assuming any such tear would wound the flesh underneath, seals the area off with sterile, non-conductive metagel. This staunches minor wounds and plugs holes in the suit that could prove fatal in vacuum or toxic environments. Soldiers are not always fond of the squish skin that oozes gel on them at a moment's notice, but the fatalities have dropped sharply since the system was implemented. Kinetic barriers, commonly called shields, provide protection against most mass accelerator weapons. Whether on a starship or a soldier's suit of armor, the basic principle remains the same. Kinetic barriers are repulsive mass effect fields projected from tiny emitters. These shields safely deflect small objects traveling at rapid velocities. This affords protection from bullets and other dangerous projectiles, but still allows the user to sit down without knocking away their chair. The shielding afforded by kinetic barriers does not protect against extremes of temperature, toxins, or radiations. A mass accelerator propels a solid metal slug using precisely controlled electromagnetic attraction and repulsion. The slug is designed to squash or shatter on impact, increasing the energy it transfers to the target. If this were not the case, it would simply punch a hole right through, doing minimal damage. Accelerator design was revolutionized by Element Zero. A slug lightened by a mass effect field can be accelerated to greater speeds, permitting projectile velocities that were previously unattainable. If accelerated to a high enough velocity, a simple paint chip can impact with the same destructive force as a nuclear weapon. However, mass accelerators produce recoil equal to their impact energy. This is mitigated somewhat by the mass effect fields that rounds are suspended within, but weapon recoil is still the prime limiting factor on slug velocity. Modern infantry weapons are micro-scaled mass accelerators using mass-reducing fields and magnetic force to propel miniature slugs to lethal speeds. Nearly every gun on the battlefield is laden with features, from targeting auto-assist to projectile shavers that can generate thousands of rounds of ammunition from a small internal block of metal. It was long thought that personal weapons had plateaued in performance, but the Geth proved all theories wrong. Mathematically reviewing their combat logs, the Geth found that in an age of kinetic barriers, most firefights were won by the side who could put the most rounds downrange the fastest, but combatants were forced to deliberately shoot slower to manage waste heat or pause as their weapons vented. To eliminate this inefficiency, the Geth adopted detachable heat sinks known as thermal clips. While organic arms manufacturers were initially doubtful this would produce a net gain, a well-trained soldier can eject and swap thermal clips in under a second. Faced with superior enemy firepower, organic enemies soon followed the Geth's lead, and today's battlefields are littered with these thermal clips. Although body armor and kinetic barriers provide significant protection for relatively low-cost, technically savvy soldiers sometimes go further. Tech armor is the common term for a complex series of field generators that disrupt incoming force using a stationary warp effect. The theory is that bullets that would normally shatter on impact instead break apart when they strike the field. The field then bleeds away the shrapnel's kinetic energy. The standard design for tech armor traps the warp field between two low-yield kinetic barriers to protect the user from the field itself. When the outer barrier fails, the warp effect is discharged, potentially harming anyone nearby. For this reason, many soldiers modify the armor with a haptic-style light effect to warn allies not to get too close. On missions where stealth is paramount, this effect is disabled. Cynical soldiers joke that the design is called tech armor because if it were simply called warp armor, no one would use it. The fortification approach uses high-energy batteries and superconductive devices within the armor to create a Foucault current effect, essentially a magnetic field that can immobilize metals, even non-ferrous ones. The field is triggered by sensors similar to those in a kinetic barrier. It is powerful enough to protect against most modern weapons, but there are drawbacks. The currents cause metallic objects to hold their position relative to one another, and although the field only lasts for a split second, it creates resistance that can slow or fatigue the wearer. Without specialized training, a soldier can quickly become exhausted or stumble at the wrong time. And we are officially caught up on the Codex. Very cool. Well, as always, I appreciate y'all for stopping by, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Until then, peace out, y'all.